Hello and welcome to my channel on Ancient in Chinese Astrology. I am professional astrologer Zagata from the website 100%astrology.com, and I would like to share and make a very unique video about some information that I came across that's very pertinent, that will shortly happen. It is so important that I went to the effort to make a PowerPoint presentation. So without further ado, let's get started. This video is going to be about a forthcoming rare and short-lasting astrological configuration for wish fulfillment. That's right, folks. There is this special star that, according to some ancient astrologers, can grant the fulfillment of lots of wishes. Actually, I mean lots of specific wishes. Let me explain. So this is the star in question. It's called Caph. Or Beta Cassiopeia of the constellation Cassiopeia, which is a circumpolar constellation, especially for here for my latitude at 4350 north. And yeah, anyhow, it's a northern constellation, and this is going to be the photo of my video. So okay, so let's continue. So this configuration that I'm talking about is the transit of the planet Jupiter. Here is the glyph for Jupiter over this star Caph, also known as Beta Cassiopeia. So this transit happens once every 12 years and lasts just for 10 to 12 days. This is because we're using an orb of 1 degree with the fixed stars, 1 degree before the star and 1 degree after the star. So this star Caph is of the nature of Saturn and Venus and has a magnitude of 2.4. Its usual characteristics, as quoted by Manilius, 1st century AD, and Vivian Robson, 20th century, do not at all suggest what unique properties this star possesses. So here, as I showed you, you can read about, I can provide links in the description, but I've known about this star. I mean, I've been doing astrology for almost 15 years and ancient astrology for, since 2010, over 13 years, and I did not know about these properties. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to accidentally, so to say, it wasn't an accident, but yeah, to come across this information while searching for other types of, I was doing astrological research, and yeah. And so this information comes from a contemporary astrologer who is actually Arabic and who knows Arabic, ancient Arabic, and has translated into French what these ancient astrologers have written. So very fortunately, I found out about this information this year. I mean, like about 2 months ago, but I've been extremely busy with my schedule with clients, and I haven't made that video in like over 3 months. This video was my latest video was in mid-February, so the point is that I discovered this information this year, and now is the time to act. Because if one skips this or misses this time window, one has to wait 12 years, a full cycle of Jupiter. So this wish fulfillment configuration starts in about 3 days. I will show when exactly it starts. The astrologer. So let me show you the source, because again so this is the source of this. He was. Yes, so he was, this is an astrologer who lives in France. He's a Persian astrologer. I mean, he was born in Iran, which is Persia, basically. And he translated this from ancient Arabic. I will show the link in the description. This is from French. I'm using Google Translate, or you can use some other translator to get this information. From Arabic to French and from French to English, but it's, I don't see anything lost because the translation is extremely clear. And he says that according to the magicians and royal Mazdian astrologers, there is this configuration that's unique in the heavens that allows those who know it to be heard by the gods and the entire universe. And this mystery is related to the star Caph, Beta Cassiopeia, and as of the year 2023, this star is located at 5 degrees and 26 minutes of Taurus, the celestial bull. So these ancient astrologers, they call it the wish fulfillment star. And this same astrologer, he explains that by the way, I should say that this article was written some years ago. I think 5 or 6 years ago was it. Well, there is no dating here, but anyhow, I came across it this year. But the point is that again, it's once in 12 years. So this information has been lying dormant, so to say, waiting particularly for what I'm sharing here about Jupiter, because this astrologer has other information about the fixed stars, but this is the most impressive thing that can be applied and utilized by anyone. No astrological knowledge is required. So this astrologer, again, he also explains that a fixed star of a positive nature does not always radiate in a beneficial way, because and if this star is beneficial at a certain time, it can well be harmful at other times. This is also the case with Beta Cassiopeia. So it is strongly advised, the ancient astrologers say, to avoid staring at the star on a Sunday evening, because if you are accompanied by a friend, you'll be separated from him, her rather, forever, from this friend. So when does this magic, so to say, work? The magic, well, of course, to address your prayers to the star of Cassiopeia. Again, he says, you obviously have to know the right moment, because everything in the universe is governed by time. And also, this is for me a note from me, important note, that I do not recommend that you pray to the star. I do not. You can ask for something from your higher self or the creator using the power of your thought during this period, but I do not suggest that you give your power away to an unknown being. We don't know what type of being is behind the star, whether it's benevolent, malevolent, or something else, or something entirely, So yes, that's okay. So let's continue. As he says, according to this Sabean Sages, Abu Mashar and the great astrologer Abul-Hasan-Bihaqi, I believe 11th or 12th century, this is obviously Abu Mashar, the most famous Arabic astrologer, 9th century. So the best time to pray to the star and when the great Jupiter is in conjunction with it. So when Jupiter is so, and this is the quote: at this moment the gates of heaven open up to the highest level of the pleromas. Pleromas are the higher worlds, the true worlds, so to say. Everything that man asks will come true. Man, woman, doesn't matter. And the whole universe will receive your request and cannot refuse it, because the very heart of God is wide open. This is the quote from these ancient astrologers. And as this Arabic astrologer contemporary explains, I prefer my presentation here, but anyhow, that Jupiter transits Caph, it conjuncts Caph once in 12 years and lasts only about 10 to 12 days. We're coming into this period in 2-3 days. Venus conjuncts Caph every year for about 2 days. And Venus is used for obtaining prosperity and love in general, according to the significations of Venus. Mars conjuncts Caph once in 2 years for about 3 days. Again, it depends on the speed of Mars, whether it's direct or retrograde. So this is used for achieving victory in battle and the destruction of enemies, because Mars signifies enemies. So the transit of Jupiter begins on the 6th of June at 12:09 a.m., so midnight, and lasts till the 15th of June at 7:31 p.m. This is for my zone, GMT plus 3. So there could be some small difference with other zones, but basically, yeah. So this is it when it begins. So you may be wondering, how do I know this precisely? Well, I know it because of one of my favorite programs, which is Planet Dance, and I have an extremely detailed tutorial over 2 hours long about Planet Dance, because it's terrific software. Here it is, Planet Dance, and how I've configured the software, etc, etc. But so this is the software, and you will see, so the first one is Jupiter transiting Beta Cassiopeia. So we see, by the way, this star, even if you own professional software or go to some prestigious website, this star is not always shown. So there are even paid softwares that do not list this star, which is very unfortunate. Fortunately, Planet Dance lists it. Although it does not provide the full information, but at least its zodiacal longitude is shown, as well as we don't need declination latitudes, etc, etc. But here, as you see, Caph is at 5 degrees and 26 minutes of Taurus, the celestial bull. So this is the longitude of the star for our current times, 2023, as you see. So we see here that Jupiter on the 6th of June at midnight, and so let's call it 12:09 a.m. enters 426. So Jupiter is within 1 degree of Caph. So 6th of June. This is the declination. This is the latitude of Jupiter, but we don't need that. But so here, and then the influence, so to say, will last until Jupiter separates by 1 degree from Caph. So in other words, when Jupiter goes to 626, and this will happen here. Jupiter is at 626, as you see, on the 15th of June at 7:30 p.m. 7:31, call it 46 seconds, etc. So here, as you see. So this is where I got the duration of the transit. Okay, let's continue. So what can this star be used for during the transit of Jupiter? Well, bearing in mind the explanation of the ancient astrologers, the first principle is, as they've shown, is that only the indications of the planet in question can be used. So because Jupiter is transiting the star, only significations, indications of Jupiter can be used. That is, in other words, one cannot wish for the fulfillment of wishes by the significations or according to the significations of other planets, since these planets do not transit Caph, this fixed star. There is a time for everything. There is a season for everything. That it's even written in the Bible. So what are some of the significations of Jupiter? Well, as always, if one wants to get the required depth, one must delve in and study the ancient sources. This is because modern astrological schools are dealing with a terribly watered down, distorted and humanistic centered psychological picture. So I myself do not do mundane astrology, but given that we're talking about the superior planets are Mars, Jupiter and Saturn in ancient astrology, and that this activation will not come again for another 12 years, I cannot help but start with some of the mundane meanings of how we as a people can help each other. So you can use it for your own country, or for a group of people, or just for yourself. I will start with the mundane significations that can be used by given people, by a given country. So I will give quotations from Vetius Valens, 2nd century AD, Abul-Hasan, 9th century, and Guido Bonatti, 13th century. And so let's get started. So the star of Zeus, as the ancients call it, or Jupiter, the star of Jupiter, was called the radiant one by the ancients. So he, because he is a masculine planet, indicates sovereignty, freedom, peace, birth of children, alliances, deliverance from evils, release from bonds, setting things right between people or nations, fair judges or just judges, the prohibition of what is reprehensible. So I trust that this gives you a good picture of what is possible with this to achieve with this transit. For example, sovereignty. Unfortunately, very, very few countries in the world, I'm not sure how many there are really sovereign because of economic, financial, military, and whatnot reasons, cultural, etc., etc. So sovereignty is, again, when you're sovereign, you can make decisions in your own country that benefit your own people and protect your own people, serve the interest of your own people, not the foreign banksters, not foreign politicians, not military, alliances or international or supra-international organizations, etc., etc. Freedom, same thing. If you're really free, again, peace, this military conflict. I'm doing this from Bulgaria. There is this enormous pressure from without and from within for Bulgaria to join this military conflict. We don't have any place in it. The vast majority of people oppose it. So this is an excellent way of, again, preserving the peace. Bulgarian interests are not threatened in any way. Our country is not threatened by outside invaders. So we should mind our own business. So should the others. Birth of children, very, very important. As I've explained, the white race has been declining and declining, even though the world population has been increasing. And Bulgaria actually is the worst in this in the whole world, believe it or not. Actually, recently, I believe this month or last month, the United Nations came up with some figures, with some projections that according to which between 2020 and 2050, Bulgaria is going to lose, I believe it was 22% of its population. the worst in the world, I believe. Anyhow, I'm talking about, you can look this up. But again, birth of children, or for people, as I will explain later, for people watching this who are having trouble having a child and would very much like to have one, this is the perfect time to ask for it of the universe. So alliances, again, this is again a mundane context and personal context. Alliances, making an alliance with someone that's mutually beneficial, that's not leeching your resources, etc. Deliverance from evils, great configuration, great, very, very fortunate. Release from bonds. Again, for example, the so-called World Health Organization, it's a private NGO that's funded mostly by Bill Gates and under the control of Bill Gates. So, for example, in Bulgaria, we have this big movement that we want to leave the World Health Organization because it wants to control and dictate so-called health policy for the whole world. It wants to basically suspend the constitution. So this is absolutely unacceptable. And we have this thing going on about, this. We're working to lots of people are working to quit this organization and become free, to get free, get sovereign, decide our health policies by Bulgarian people, not by others people. And you can do so for your own country. That's the whole point of me making this video, for people to have a choice. To select these things and and ask for them. Fair judges. Boy, do we need this? One of the most, unfortunately, very, very corrupt country here, but not just here. I mean, as has been evident. I mean, don't get me started on this. I'm very sensitive on this topic, and not just this topic, but all the Jupiter topics. The prohibition of war is reprehensible. Extremely important. Again, with your own culture, wherever you live, you have your own customs, your own religion and beliefs, and and language and culture, etc., etc. This is what is sovereignty. If someone on the outside is trying to to push you to abandon yours and to replace them with something that's external, that's international, that's that's undermining your own culture, that should be reprehended, and that includes conventions like the Istanbul Conventions or the so-called Green Deal and many others that are seeking to control from the outside, and that's seeking to basically suspend and undermine the constitution, and this is happening also for the US and for many countries. So again, I'm not talking about individual people. Transgender, etc. I'm talking about policies. I'm talking about policies that are being enforced by institutions. I'm not talking about individual people here. I want to make this very, very clear. Everybody is free to do whatever they want as long as they do not impose their own will on another. Basic spiritual law. So also Jupiter indicates the unity of faith in its foresight. Faith has sustained. Bulgaria is one of the oldest countries in the world. So faith and foresight, the fitness of morals and responsibility, very, very enrichment in general, and security in every matter. Having security, not being compromised. Again, keeping promises. Civil servants, politicians, etc., they should be keeping their promises, or they should be held accountable. In business dealings, those that take place without seduction, very important signification. Fairness, the goodness of the moral habits of the mind, the esteem for good and hatred for evil. Again, these are not relativistic terms. These are at the core of of the human experience. I've talked about this, with ancient astrology. The benefic planets, they promote, life, friendship, birth of children, assistance, etc., etc. The malefic planets, they indicate betrayal, death, deception, ingratitude, etc., etc. So history, Jupiter also has to do with history, as also Robert Zoller used to teach, and it's a superior planet. So imagine, again, history, there's it's been suppressed and distorted. Imagine getting the true history, or wishing for to get the true history of your own planet. Sorry, not planet. Your own country. Next, on a more personal level. I hope this video I don't get, we'll see if someone wants to make trouble for what I said, but let's get with the personal. So Jupiter represents the respect of powerful men and magnates, the assistance of people in matters, charity, mercy, patronage, telling the truth, generosity, luck, luxury. Again, you can wish for any of these because they are representations of Jupiter. As next, happiness, religion, the truth, piety, chastity, administering justice, extremely important. Philosophy, teachers. So if you want to study some philosophy or get your hands on some ancient knowledge or whatever knowledge that you're interested in and have been stuck, this is a great time to ask for this. Or if you're having trouble finding a teacher or guru, call it whatever you want, a mentor. This is Jupiter. This 10-day period is great for this. Dream interpretation. That's right, friends. Many modern astrologers are undereducated and they think that ancient astrology is, fatalistic and that it has nothing to say about the spiritual life of the native. Nothing can be further from the truth. Next, meditating on the life to come. Again, significations of Jupiter, a higher planet. Meditating on what you want to do and what you want to achieve, what you have, etc., etc. Very, very, very important characteristics. Let's not forget who we are, and we're having a temporary experience here. Next, the thing is that this star, that what the ancient astrologers fail to mention, surprise, surprise, is that this star is not on the ecliptic. So this means that the conjunction of the planets with this star does not happen in the sky, but with its ecliptic projection. Of course, this fact is true for all the stars outside the ecliptic. So these ordinary or simple zodiacal conjunctions are much weaker than the in mundo positions of the stars. In fact, some astrologers would make the case that only the in mundo positions of the stars should be taken, especially for those outside the ecliptic. So Beta Cassiopeia, this star, is a circumpolar star that does not rise or set for Bulgarian latitudes, but does so for lower latitudes. For example, I checked and this star rises and sets in Miami, Florida. What remains for the latitudes where it does for the latitudes where it does not rise and set is its upper and lower culmination. That is its Paran with the midheaven and the Imum Coeli, the MC and the IC. So these conjunctions happen a total of twice per day. This conjunction has an orb of 1 degree, as with the Jupiter transit. So this means that the conjunction lasts 8 minutes at the upper culmination and 8 minutes at the lower culmination. Again, this will happen once a day during the 10 days that Jupiter transits over the star. So by knowing when this star will be most active in a given location, one will be in a position to get the maximum of what one desires. So let me say this in a different way. Jupiter will transit this star Caph, again as I showed here, for 10 days, from the 6th of June to the 15th of June, for the whole world, for the whole planet. However, Jupiter will this star will come, so to say, to your location wherever you live twice per day, and if you're living in lower latitudes, it can come 4 times per day. It can rise, it can culminate, it can set, and it can anti-culminate. For my location, it's circumpolar. It's it's walking around the pole, the north. So it never rises and never sets. So it only culminates and lower culminates. These are again astronomical terms. The point is that if you want to maximize this, your prayers or your desires, for wish fulfillment, the best thing to do is to get use this whole period, but the peak, so to say, is, as I explained, twice per day for about 8 minutes, or 4 times again depending on where you live, when the star will be conjunct the angles of your own location. So Jupiter will be transiting the star for the whole planet, but the star at that time will be at your own location. So the star is coming to you, so to say. Again, and let me also clarify that the star does this every day. But what is different is that Jupiter is activating the star by its transit. In other words, after the transit of Jupiter, after June 15th, the star will keep coming to the angles every day, as the whole celestial sphere does. But this activation will be no more, because Jupiter will have left Caph, the star, and will be out of orb. So, for example, the conjunction of the star in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, will happen at different times compared to the one in Russia, my location in Bulgaria. And the conjunction in a distant country will happen many minutes or even many hours apart. This is because of the latitude of the location. Again, this is strict astronomy, so to say. So, for example, in my location, Russia, Bulgaria, again, it was created in the 1st century in the Roman Empire. So I've made this table. It takes a while to do, but so these are the dates, as you see the location, the dates, 6th of June, 7th of June, 8th of June, etc. until the 15th of June, the hour, minute when the star enters 1 degree orb, comma, becomes exact, comma, and leaves the 1 degree orb with the midheaven. Same thing here with the IC. In other words, the star enters orb on the 6th of June in my location at 8:25 a.m. and then is exactly on the meridian at 8:29, and then leaves the orb 8:33. So these 8 minutes, this is the window when the star is at the midheaven. This is far more powerful than when it's here, when it's anti-culminating. And in the evening, it's 20 hours, 8:23 p.m. and 27 is on the lower meridian, 8:31. It leaves the orb, again 8 minutes. So this is for my location. Again, as you see, the 15th of June, here we don't have it because, as I showed here, it's leaving on at 7:30 p.m. Whereas here it's 7:47, 1947 if you want to use the 24 hour. Okay, so for Sofia, the capital, as you see here for Russia it's 8:25, here it's 2023. Here for Sofia it's 8:35 and 2029. So 10 minutes difference, 6 minutes difference. Again, and this is Bulgaria is a small country. For the other countries, for where the latitudes vary widely, you're gonna have tremendous differences. So this requires a use of accurate, astronomical and astrological software to make sure that you have the correct minutes of when the star culminates or anti-culminates in your specific location where you live, not where you were born, where you live, because this is how it's used. I was asked if one could wish for to acquire real estate during this transit. Well, Saturn is the significator of immovable property, of real estate, not Jupiter. However, the answer here is that one can make a wish for this to get real estate, and it would come through inheritance or wealth, because inheritance or wealth are significations of Jupiter. Now, as for whether one can get things that are not significations of Jupiter, the answer is yes. However, pay close attention here. The prerequisite, the so-called obligatory condition, mandatory condition, is that in your own horoscope, Jupiter is in the house that's representing the thing you're asking for. That's one scenario. The second scenario is that Jupiter rules this house. The third scenario is that Jupiter rules the lot of the thing you're asking, the lot of children, the lot of the lot of a profession if you're looking for another job, the lot of friends if you're looking for friends, the lot of siblings if you'd like to have a sibling, or the lot of travel if you want to travel to another country, the lot of there are so many lots, etc., etc. The lot of servants if you'd like to hire someone to for your business, or to perform some favor for you, etc., etc. So Jupiter rules the lot or is conjunct the lot. again, you would need astrological knowledge or an astrologer to interpret this properly, because yeah, this is not general universal that everyone can apply, which was until now. You know what I've been explaining until now, everyone can apply it. But with this knowledge, this is because this, obviously your chart, you'd have to have very accurate time of birth to be using this. Also, of course, I want to be as sincere as possible, as I always am. So I don't know how effective this knowledge is and what limitation it might have on the fulfillment of wishes. I myself will also use it for the first time. I found out about this year. I'm making a video now. Again, I found out about this about 2 months, but I've been extremely busy. I haven't even had a chance to make any other videos. So I chose to share this information completely free of charge with Bulgaria and also with the world. You know, with YouTube, you can. I'm always adding subtitles to my videos, so people from all over the world can watch my videos in their language with Google Translate. You'll get like perhaps 70-80% at least accurate translation from the machine. So very good, very good. Also, I chose this, you know, to give this for free, as I was saying. I did not choose to organize paid seminars about it and to make bombastic promises that you can get everything you desire, etc., just to clickbait you, so to say, so that you could come and I'll take your money. No. So the bottom line is that in the worst case scenario, one can waste a total of 160 minutes in 10 days and get nothing. At best, one can have a big wish or dream come true by focusing all their attention for 16 minutes a day for 10 days. Get 8 minutes and 8 minutes in the morning and in the evening. And the best part is that you won't know what will happen unless you do it, because the next time the gates of heaven will open will be in 12 years. Finally, I'm not doing this again for. You can use this information for as it is for all these 10 days. If you want me or someone else to calculate these activations, I'm going to be charging $12, $12 US, because it takes time to handwrite this. You know, for example, let me show you what I mean. You can use the free software Stellarium, which I will give a link in the description here according to your operating system or web version, etc. I have Stellarium, but Stellarium is not entirely accurate. For some locations, it gives like deviations of many minutes or even a few hours. Again, you can check this for I've used several softwares to double and triple check to make sure that I have the correct minutes, because if you are off by 5 minutes, you can miss half the window for more, let alone if you're off by hours. It's completely useless. So again, this is free. You can check it, but the thing is to have another software or to have an astrological friend that can confirm your results, because again, other softwares are showing different results, paid softwares. So so it takes. And also you will see that this software, for example, here it's showing 8:29, here it's showing 8:31, almost 3 minutes difference. And also this is with Stellarium, it's showing you only the transit. In other words, what the astronomers call transit, sometimes the culmination. It's not giving you the information for the anti-culmination, for the evening times. It's just showing you the half of the picture, and it's not even completely accurate. Yes, I had to again calculate and double and triple check and enter this into tables so that it's easy on GIS and you can see the date and etc., the hours, the minutes. Let's see, do I have anything else to add? Well, this is it, folks. So the bottom line is, pick any of these significations of Jupiter. You can use screenshots, etc., or download the video to your computer with software and pick any of these significations, and ask your higher self, ask the creator, the universe, etc., to realize that. But again, you have to make an effort. It takes time to it's not just some seconds or 1-2 minutes per day. It's when you're creating, so to say, or attracting or manifesting something, it takes an effort. You get what you put in, so to say, as an effort. So So this is it. I hope it was instructional. And yes, also if you want to subscribe, I suggest that you do, because if when I release other videos and when they're time sensitive, if you're not subscribed, you're going to miss them. Also, the best, I would also suggest that you subscribe to my website. Of course, it's completely free. It's because I've had people who complain that YouTube is not showing them the videos on time. And here with my website, you can put your name, one name, it doesn't matter, your email, and you get an automatic email from me. It's actually, it's a plugin is doing this. I've just pre-entered the message. Whenever I publish a new article, a new video, anything new, you get notified by your email. I never send spam or anything, or you just get notification for something I publish, nothing else. You can unsubscribe at any time. That's it. I hope this was instructional. Please share this video with as many people as you can. Again, it doesn't require any specialized knowledge. Anyone can use this. As you see, what Jupiter is the most benefic planet. I'm not calling for attacking anyone. I'll never do this for it's meant for for personal use, for improvement, for defense, for improvement, etc., not for attacking. So this was it. Yes, if you have a comment or a question, I'll be happy to answer to you. Thank you.